You are watching The Night Show Live with your host, Ryan Roberts, sponsored by Weed. The reason you're in sweatpants all day. Weed, created by God.
Night Show Live with Ryan Roberts. It's me, myself, and I. And, of course, as always, my illustrious producer, Jim Lauber III. His own camera's working wonderfully today. And tonight we have wrestling aficionado, wrestling know-it-all, my good friend, Matthew James. And he's going to be taking your comments and questions. And we're going to be trying something new today. And I'll tell you what that is in a moment. But it's going to require some. High-level participation. So we're going to try that and see how it goes. Let's go to the comments and see if anyone's with us yet. Please like, share, comment. Give me 1 second here, doing some technical things. I should have it. No. Here, let's watch this video.
Ryan, this is your conscience speaking. I just wanted to drop in and say hello. Hello. We haven't talked in a while. You're just the same when you do weed. You become deflated like in all those anti-pot commercials from the 90s. You're just not the same. Or maybe you are the same. Maybe we're all the same. Maybe nothing matters. Maybe everything is real, but nothing is real. Damn, I'm so high right now.
Solving technical problems on the fly. So glad I have B-roll material to go to. My guest tonight, Matthew James. You don't need your headphones.
Oh, I don't need headphones, friend?
No, not.
Hi, friend.
Hi, friend.
How are you?
Love your T-shirt.
Thank you.
This is your...
Figured this was... I mean, this is pretty much my 100% of my wardrobe right now anyway, so... various Hulk Hogan T-shirts from different eras.
I gotta ask, man, where'd you get that one?
This one, so this is a classic Hulk Rules. It's the shirt that you're thinking of from when you think of Hulk Hogan, and they don't make it anymore. So I ordered it special.
Of course.
And then I had to take it to a tailor, a seamstress, to get it like, you know, Hulk Hogan'd out. So, John Cena.
You did that yourself.
No, I didn't. I paid for that. I've since done it myself, but the first couple I paid for because I didn't want to mess it up. Now I just follow this. I do it with all my T-shirts.
So we'll be taking comments and questions. Matthew James is would you call yourself a, wrestling historian?
Aficionado. A historian's a little, because it's basically the cable era that I know. Like, I have good friends that are real aficionados, or like in 1905, Frank Gotch beat, and I'm like...
So from the late 80s to current...
Early 80s on 70s, like the cable TV era, yeah.
So you could pretty much ask any wrestling question, and
I think so. I think if anybody... especially my age, I think anyone from your age on down, I should be able to nail this.
Have you stayed on top of it though?
Yes,
as you got
absolutely.
Older? Okay,
absolutely.
So you watched it when you were young and all the way up
until
right
and now I watch it more because my mom's not like, go to bed. I stay up all night and watch wrestling. That'll teach Joan.
Was that like your go-to punishment when you were a kid? Just ban
that I couldn't have wrestling?
Yeah, ban.
See, that's cruel.
James
I don't think.
wrestling.
Like, take my Nintendo, take my books, take whatever. Just don't take my wrestling. Like,
take my freedom, but
they'll
don't
never
take my wrestling.
You'll never take
my wrestling, complete with war paint.
I had to confiscate my stepson's Xbox.
Oh no!
And
no.
the TV.
Did you ever think that you would come to that point when
No.
you confiscated a gaming
No,
system?
I know for
No.
a fact. I've known Ryan 15 years, and I know for a fact he was the confiscatee in all of those situations.
My mother used to hide our N64 controllers in her bedroom. We used to break into it with a butter knife.
Really?
And then when she came home, we broke back into it to put
them back.
to put the controllers back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this kid is, if he doesn't get his shit together, man, it's going to be a long, hard road to 18.
Xbox 4000 is going to come
And
out
I
before
can't
you
believe
play
I
again.
just said that shit, too. Like, that's ridiculous.
You've
Like,
become your father
I don't
back
even
into
know
it.
who I am.
and your
right now.
mother.
Put the controllers back. Yeah.
Rolled into wood.
Well, All right,
This kid is- if he
so
doesn't get his
hello,
shit
Mary.
together, man, it's gonna be a
Hello,
long,
Aaron.
hard road.
Lombard.
Xbox 4000.
Yeah, so-
Will you play again?
Here's the thing.
Like, that's
I had to do a little pre-work here to get ready, and I thought I loaded a certain video into my my little mechanism, and I did not load the certain little thing into my mechanism. But I did have a fantastic report from Wolf, the Connecticut super fan. He had a fantastic story about Etna,
a certain video
which
The Wolf have.
Don't spoil it. Just play it Monday. It was so good. Well, you're gonna play it, so don't do his material. It was so good. You gotta do it.
So I apologize, man.
I can attest. We watched it. We liked it.
No, we.
It's just then. What were you doing all that time, Chief?
I was trying to do some editing, and I was doing my other job, which is I'm actually on the radio from 8 to midnight. So right after this, I got to go back and do some more work until midnight.
I can
So,
attest. We watched it. We
I'll be
liked it.
drinking heavily.
My father just commented that he still has that same butter knife that we used.
you know about
I
it?
have seen it. Oh, they knew about it.
Did they?
Oh, we told them eventually.
You have to. That's one of those things.
I'll bring it in one day.
Back and do some more work. Let's see.
I can attest. We watched it. We liked it.
There's Jimmy.
My
Hey, I
father
wonder
just
if-
commented
let me-
that he
I'm gonna-
still has that same butter
So
knife
my good friend
that we
Jimmy
used.
Nads
I have seen it.
is watching. We're going to try to do something brand new tonight. We're going to try to bring in a person from the phone. So let me technically get set up here again. Oh man, I'm a wizard. Wizardry.
I have seen it.
Watching. We're going to try to do something. Let me give Jimmy a phone call tonight. We're going to try to bring in a person from the phone. So let me hold on a second. So this is a test. This is a total, like, I don't know if this is going to work. This could work. This could totally not work. Calling my friend Jimmy Nads on Facebook, and then I'm going to bring it in here so we can all see it. And if that works technically, then I am a wizard. It's ringing, but I can't hear it. Why can't I hear it? Oh, I know why.
Oh,
Ah ha ha!
wrong phone, Dion.
Yeah. Put on your headphones there, my friend.
I got him.
Headphone time.
You're on Facebook Live, Jimmy and Tina Nads.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up, bro?
So also, you were using the phone like my grandparents. Focus on your faces.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm 52 years old. I don't know how to use a phone.
No, that's pretty much apparent, man.
Oh, yeah, 51. Yeah, but, that's 8 inches, bro.
But I can't see you. That was the whole point.
How do I work it?
That was the whole point. I'm trying to make
I
a
know
phone
we're
call.
playing that now, bro.
Hand over the thing.
Oh man, you're ruining everything.
My ass.
Oh, wait.
Here it comes. No.
Are they in the dark?
Yeah, they
Yes,
are in the.
no.
Do you not know
Oh
how to
my
turn on
God.
lights?
Turn lights on. I can't see.
Disaster.
This
Oh,
is
I gotta
great.
turn the lights on.
This is
Okay.
great.
We have to turn the lights on.
What are you doing? Were you guys doing it?
No.
Is this a bad time?
We're watching a movie.
You're watching.
Ooh.
Can you take time out for
What
night-
kind of a movie?
Trying to turn the light on, and it's not working very well.
All right, you guys are the worst. I'm going to call somebody else.
No.
You just video called them from a studio with no education at all, and she had to figure out how the light worked. You just magic airwave made their face pop up through 4 video systems. And it was a timeout to turn on the light.
Listen. If I could tell you how happy I am that we just technically accomplished that. That was a technical goal that I
One
wanted.
small
I've been
step.
talking, Jim. Isn't this true? I've been talking with you, Jim. One day we can take phone calls.
Yes.
And then it'll be great.
What was he filming it on? That was a Game Boy. It was a one potato he was filming that on.
Oh,
That was the
man.
Zapruder film.
Oh. That's great.
Etch-a-sketch.
Yeah.
Did anybody care about wrestling?
Yeah. So, do we have any wrestling fans out there?
Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about wrestling for an hour.
Who did we bring behind us? Who did we got
That's
here?
Triple H, and normally you can't see him, but that's John Cena, 16-time WWE champion. Triple H, 12-time WWE champion.
Very nice.
Matthew James, no-time WWE champion.
So, what do you do with pro wrestling? What is your?
I watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
All of it. All the pro wrestling that they let you watch. I'm also a ring announcer for local independent wrestling. There's 3 in this area. One in Western Mass, Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling. Blitzkrieg Pro in Enfield, Connecticut. They have a show February 24th, Enfield, Connecticut. And then in this area, in the Waterbury area, is Dissension Pro Wrestling. And they are out of Torrington. And those are the guys I think that are closest to here.
Yeah.
Those are my three gigs that I book.
Is there a way people can watch these local matches?
Yeah, you buy a ticket, you come down. It's like $10 usually for these. $10 to $15. You get any seat. There's not a bad seat in the house. Blitzkrieg Pro operates out of the Old Country Banquet Hall in Enfield, Connecticut, and it's a beautiful wedding venue that we destroy with a wrestling ring right in the middle.
What is it, like a setup takedown ring every time?
Yep, move it in, set it up, tear it down,
That's
move
it?
out. Just like a band, kind of, but just everything's heavier and everyone's less attractive.
Who are some of the people you've worked with in the past that you were memorable for you?
Memorable, like you mean like people that you would know?
Yeah,
I
met Sting one time.
You did meet Sting. I love hearing that story. You met him at the Fazoli's in Central Michigan.
Yeah,
right?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Opening Jake the Snake Roberts.
It was a grand opening for an Italian restaurant.
The grand opening. Jake the Snake Roberts. I've announced Diamond Dallas Page, Marty Jannetty, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. I've announced him. Younger guys, I've announced Justin Credible. Maybe saw the video. Tommy Dreamer and things like that. So, kind of the 90s, the 80s and 90s guys that are getting out of it that aren't necessarily employed by WWE work the independent circuit.
Yep.
And that's the circuit that I...
Kevin Regan says Haystack Calhoun was like 650 pounds.
Haystack Calhoun is a fat slob. I don't know how he did it. I was literally just watching something with Haystack Calhoun last night. He was in WCW under a different name. Of course I was. By last night, this morning, 4 a.m, like, well, let's learn about Haystacks Calhoun. Gigantic, massive a human being. Probably one of the biggest out-of-shape wrestlers that ever. But he could go, you know what I mean? It's just like, if you look at him, you're like, you got 2 options. Be a pro wrestler, die of a heart attack in the field. He chose both.
Who's Superfly Snuka? Is that a wrestler?
Yes, it's a wrestler.
Yeah,
and
Marcus
legend
Barbosa wants to know.
Jimmy,
He wants to see this guy.
Superfly, Jimmy
Superfly
Snuka.
Snuka.
Well, you missed your chance, pal.
So,
Not taking any bookings.
if you have any, if you are a wrestling fan and you want to play Stump the wrestling know-it-all, my friend Matthew James.
Yeah, throw a question on there, try to stump me, and then maybe we'll put their name on the Facebook later and go, you got me.
You got me.
You got
but
me.
I have never seen anyone stump the know-it-all, actually.
You hate my wrestling obsession. You hate it. We've been in hotel rooms across the country, and you're like, what's this? Wrestling. When's it on? The next 3 hours.
The problem is that when we traveled a lot.
Just die. Just die.
We traveled a lot together, performing all over the United States, and so we'd share hotel rooms a lot. And he's like a little kid at camp. We're trying to go to sleep, and he's talking about pro wrestling and shit. Like, you know, like we watch. Like, I want to watch something about, you know, nature. Or, you know, he's like,
like sports or something.
Yeah, great wrestling.
Great wrestling.
You know how many times I went to sleep to wrestling?
A lot of times. You know how hard it is to watch wrestling with Ryan Roberts snoring loudly over your... Just die. Just be blue already so I could watch John Cena.
All right. Angelo's got a question. Here we go. Angelo's got let's put him in the hot seat.
Oh, Angelo. What's
up,
brother?
What did Snuka... This is also... He's a little older. Angelo's a little older. What did Snuka eat when he entered the ring in his early years?
What did he eat on the way to the ring?
In his ring... He might have stumped the know-it-all.
Maybe a chicken? Did he eat a chicken? Did he eat a fried chicken or something? I think he's thinking of the headbang, like Afa and Sika, the Wild Samoans. They used to eat chickens on the way to the ring. Superfly Jimmy
What do you
Snuka,
mean eating chickens?
You eat a fried chicken or a rotisserie chicken
like
on
when
the
you
way
pick
to
up
the,
from Stop and Shop. That's already...
Yeah, they'd eat it on the way to the
ate a
rings.
whole
But that was like the
rotisserie chicken.
90s. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to Google this. Maybe he got me. I don't know. What did he eat, pal? friend?
We'll have to.
Yeah, you need the answer. Make sure you have the answer handy. Don't just ask open-ended questions, or this is going to be a long, drawn-out process.
Dave.
He only asked half the question.
Dave asked
made.
half a question.
Oh, great.
We need the other half of the question, Dave.
How many pages? Actually, Chad, my friend Matthew James probably knows the answer to this question. The question is, how many pages of script per episode of WWE?
How many pages of script?
Yeah,
That's more.
I know you've actually seen.
I've seen. They're quite. You know what? They're so intricate. The scripts of WWE. I've seen leaked ones from past episodes of Raw, and you go in it, and you're like, wow, bullet point, hit for hit. That's exactly what they. I don't know. Maybe 10.
Oh, Angelo came in with the answer. He ate the flour off the official's shirt.
How many? Oh, okay. I don't know. Give it to
I did
him.
not
I don't
know
know.
that.
I didn't know
Yeah.
the officials had a flower.
We'll have to.
There I go.
There we go.
Well, there
Zero for one. Perfect. Jason Ray LaRose says, "Who do you think is the best wrestler in the business right now?"
Right now,
Yeah.
okay, the best wrestler, and I don't know, there's a lot of qualifications. We could be saying best technical wrestler, best everything. Right now, and he's on his way out, but John Cena is the absolute best as far as, he's the Hulk Hogan of this era. Best wrestler right now, I'd have to say probably someone like Cesaro. Probably Cesaro in WWE, the Swiss Superman, is a great technical wrestler. AJ Styles is I'm not going on a limb with any of these. People are going to probably make an argument for either. But if you're asking right now today, the best go at him, go get him wrestler, I'd say AJ Styles.
Jason says, Beav Baby. Beav Baby.
Yeah, it's just my friend Jason from, he was the referee in our backyard wrestling when we were growing up.
I had a buddy with a ring in his backyard.
Did you?
A long time ago. I was a sophomore in high school, freshman or sophomore.
How many people got hurt?
A lot of
A lot
us.
of people got
A lot
hurt.
of us.
Everyone.
I'll tell you a story after we're done.
Why you can't tell me now?
I could totally tell you now.
All right.
Well, his younger brother had toy boxing gloves. Like, they weren't real boxing gloves.
Yeah.
They make a noise when you connect with somebody.
Yeah.
The
You know
problem
about
is,
these?
No, yeah,
Yeah,
rock
little-
and sock 'em
yeah,
or whatever
so,
they
yeah,
are,
yeah,
bop
but-
and sock and bop.
so you hit somebody with it,
Yeah.
and it makes a punching sound.
Yeah.
This thing had 4 AA batteries in a plastic box inside the glove. So my buddy laid me out. All my friends are like, dude, he iced you. I'm like, you try getting hit in the face with 4 AA batteries in a plastic box, shithead.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh man.
that-
I loved being a kid. I'm glad I'm not a kid now, honestly, with all the overprotective. Like, that's something that parents just wouldn't
Yeah.
do. And the 70s was worse, man. I grew up in the 70s. Like, jarts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Jarts were like
what? I don't even know what those are.
So jarts are a game that you would put a plastic hoop on the ground and about I don't know,
lawn darts.
Yeah,
Darts,
jart.
yeah.
They called them jarts.
They banned those in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, because kids were getting pale.
Oh.
Head. Yeah.
Everything was small. The little people. Of course, your mom still has them at your house, but the little people that are little wood blocks,
Oh, right in your
Ate
mouth.
it.
Right in your mouth.
ate it. He
Right in
ate
your
it.
mouth.
How'd he die? He ate it.
Oh man.
That was before rules and regulations and guidelines.
Oh, Cody Rogers says, "Hey fellas, I'm back tonight, and you still haven't gotten him basically saying a decent computer stand."
That's a lot better than his
I
outgoing mail
I
tray.
knew that this was better than the last 2 ones.
You
I'm going to get a real one, though.
you've changed it every night, man. Every night you have a different.
We should make that a thing.
a different ghetto computer stand. That's fantastic. All right, let me see here. I'm going to try to do a technical thing again. Let's do a technical thing. Let me go to people can see me do a technical thing. I'm going to try to make a phone call here once again and see if we can make this work. The guy I was going to call said, "Is wrestling real, Matthew?" Yeah.
Yeah, you're not real, sir.
Yeah.
Wrestling is the realest thing there is.
Yeah.
You're fake.
Oh,
You're
man.
predetermined outcomes.
All right. Let's see if he answers this time. So I'm calling Jimmy, if you're still watching, I'm calling. Turn on your freaking light this time. All right. Let's try it. He says call back, and then he's not there. Turn on your light, Jimmy.
Turn on your love light.
Oh, man, this is great.
So welcome to phone calls with Ryan Roberts.
I can't believe I can't get anyone on the phone.
We'll take a question. Marcus Barbosa, did Hulk Hogan own a condo in West Haven?
In West Haven?
Probably on the beach
I mean,
somewhere.
that could be
It's
true
a very
because
specific question.
there were, as you know, the WWE headquarters are in Stamford, Connecticut.
It's not too. It could be.
And there's a lot of, I mean, all of them at one point had houses in Greenwich and stuff. And then for tax reasons, a lot of them moved to Florida because they don't take either an entertainer's tax or something. It's one of the states where you don't get taxed for performing outside the state or something close to that. But yeah, a lot of wrestlers lived up here for a long time. I'm sure Triple H and those people still live up here. Their corporate offices are here.
How many pro wrestling shows do you think you've seen?
That it takes the cake. I've been to more of them than I've been to probably about 20 Raw, SmackDowns, and things like that. I've only seen Fish like 8 times. So
Right on.
And who's from Connecticut? Joe Silva. Any of these guys from Connecticut?
Connecticut wrestlers: Matt Stryker, Just Incredible's from Connecticut.
You're gonna have to tell the Just Incredible story.
Maybe. Maybe. We should have had the video to go with it. It's a lot easier to explain.
I think I got you there, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great.
You watching the show?
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure. This is
That's
this
fair.
this
I'm watching. I'm getting very sweaty right now.
for what reason? Nick? You can't don't listen to your feed. Listen to me. Turn the volume down on your phone.
What phone to look at? I'm on like 3 different phones here, bro.
So I wanted you to tell everyone how you got the name Jimmy Nads.
Is tonight the night?
Yeah, tonight's the night that you bare your soul and tell everyone how you got the name Jimmy Nads.
I just heard this one. Should I use my phone or Tina's phone?
Just talk to me. How many shots of Fireball have you had this evening?
Oh God. Okay.
All of them.
Every one of
I
them.
just canned my phone. Really?
Yeah, tell me
You
the
really want to know?
yes, tell me the Jimmy Nads story.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. There's this stuff. It's called Nads, and you can use it for man hair
It's like
removal.
Nair for
Yeah,
women.
Nads.
It's like Nair for men.
Nair for women.
Right. Where are you
yeah.
where are you
They're-
supposed to use it?
Called
Not
Nads.
Go ahead.
All right. So you really do not. You don't
give me
want to
the
use
phone.
it. You don't want to use it for more than 3 or 4 minutes.
Where don't you
Hours.
want to use it for 3 more?
Anywhere your junk is. So you rub it on, and you call it, and you read the label, and it says, "Hello, just let it sit for 3 minutes. If you could do 3 minutes, I'll give everybody $50 if they can do more than 3 minutes." Because all of a sudden it goes viral and it burns bad.
So do you got to comb it in with a
Where
brush?
you jump in the shower. You're in the shower, you're trying to wash it off, and your wife gets a 5-pound bag of freaking
Baking soda.
and throws
And
it
I'm-
over the top of the
Really
shower to try to dry you off so it doesn't burn so bad.
She
And
saw
guess
Fight
what?
Club once.
No. and burn. And burn.
I know what to do. Tyler Durden
It
showed
was
me.
bad.
Oh no!
I
And then
felt
it
bad
turns
for her.
into I don't know
It
what.
looked like elephantitis of the nuts.
Oh my
my
God!
That is where you would find that.
And this
Hey,
is a chemical
it's all
burn.
fun and games until they swell.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
ugly.
Oh.
It was bad.
Well, was it,
It was
sure
really
wasn't pretty
bad.
to begin
no,
with.
it wasn't really bad. It was really good, but I couldn't touch it for 3 days.
Oh my God.
That's a fantastic. I'm so glad you got to be able to tell it, and completely sober too.
Mostly completely
Most-
Yeah,
sober.
completely-
relatively.
Yeah.
As sober as Jimmy at 8 p.m. goes.
Yeah, that's great. That's,
You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for the story.
Thanks, guys.
yeah, when are you coming back, bro?
Oh, I'll be seeing you very shortly, I'm sure.
All right, that'd be
right.
cool.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
Bye, man.
Back on the other phone.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too.
Love you.
Love you.
What's up, Rob Core? CorePros.com.
Oh, that's
What's up, man?
great. So you notice there is a little latency, meaning the video isn't exactly linking up with the video isn't linking up with the audio, but there's nothing that I can do about it because it's traveling through the air. I can fix it, but if someone wants to buy me another iPad, I just need one more iPad. Then I can so
I don't even own an iPad.
I'll be I'll start a GoFundMe campaign.
Thus necessitating an iPad
for another iPad. How is anyone still watching?
Does anybody care about wrestling?
Everyone just leave after.
We still need wrestling questions.
We do.
We need some wrestling questions, and then guess we'll answer them and then move on.
What about Chicago, Matt? What about Chicago?
What about Chicago? Wrestling in Chicago? Wrestling's big in Chicago. CM Punk is from Chicago. Colt Cabana. The Road Warriors, I believe, are from... That's a Legion of Doom with the spikes on their shoulders.
Legion of Doom.
I've showed you those guys before.
Yeah, of course
You've
have.
watched a lot of wrestling.
I've watched a lot of...
We were really time also. And even when
I was 30.
Yeah, we were both too old to be there.
Oh,
Let's say
man.
that. Thanks, Heart School.
You know what?
So,
I'll bring this. If were you going to finish a point?
No. Never was I ever.
Because of course everybody's like, wrestling's fake or whatever. But the truth is that a lot of these guys really, really they sacrifice.
Oh yeah,
their bodies for the sport or for the show.
And that's guys on WWE. I work with guys who have other jobs during the week. You know, I've got a friend, AJ Cruz from Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling, who literally sells cars. A car salesman. I bought my car off him. Bertera Chevrolet, Springfield, Mass. All my Mass. So, rank it in the buddy. But AJ Cruz, car salesman on the weekdays, on the weekend is tough, scrappy wrestler. Goes to post up on a turnbuckle to turn around and close someone. Tore his Achilles, gone. No more Achilles.
Wow.
Zachary Pierre Balieu, who is a former EMT, put his hand in the hole and goes, "Yeah, there's no Achilles there."
Oh
AJ.
my God, man!
So, and that's it. He sells cars on the weekends. Now he's laid up for 6 months. He was laid up for 6 months. Luckily, they treated him well at work. But that was, I mean, and he did it for the 200 people that were there watching Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling and the, you know what I mean, like, and the thrill of it, and probably $40.
Two great questions.
Ooh, good.
Better Rumble, 92 or 01?
All right, so 01 is, I believe, Austin's last Rumble, and it sets up for him to go on and face The Rock at 17. 92, though, Flair he comes in at 3 and goes the distance, the first man to do it. He did it, Sean did it. The guy who won the 2004 Rumble did it. His name escapes me, wink. But, wow, 92 or 01, good question. I'm going to go with 92. With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment of my life. Woo! 92 Royal Rumble, Ric Flair.
Is that what he did that?
It was. Good question. We got another one?
That's from Dave Cohen. I'm going to call him right now and see what his rebuttal is, actually.
Dave Cohen, let's go.
Let's see if he answers.
This should only take 9 minutes.
No, well, because I think Dave's a little bit more. And also, once I get better at doing this, so you got to really excuse me. This is a first for me. With some new technology, so it's not as smooth as
so
my
old, and everything you touch breaks.
It's true.
Times I've just driven around with you. Why isn't the window down? I touched it. It'll never go up again.
It happened last night too. I touched some electronical gear.
Yeah, but you get everything right back up and running.
Of course you did.
I did.
Don't beat yourself up.
Miraculously, Dave, answer your phone, man. Dave,
did he have a second question or no? I thought you said there were two.
There. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Dave.
Hey!
How's it going? So you asked Better Rumble.
I did.
And did you hear his answer?
I did.
What's your response?
You know what? To me, the 92 Rumble is the best Royal Rumble match of all time. You've got Flair going the distance, like he said. But what really makes that Rumble, not only the star power throughout the entire Rumble match, but Bobby Heenan's commentary. Bobby Heenan makes that Royal Rumble match. Okay, professional wrestling, the art of pro wrestling is storytelling. And when you have Bobby Heenan doing what he's doing with Gorilla Monsoon on the side, with Ric Flair doing what he's doing on in the middle of the ring, everything that's going around, you've got Randy Savage and Jake Roberts having a mini storyline in there. You've got Sid and Hogan, battling up for WrestleMania 8. You've got just everything going nuts, and then you've got obviously, like I said, Heenan with Flair. It's I think the greatest Rumble of all time.
This is such a different phone call than the last phone call.
Yeah, a lot less drunken debauchery. I'm going to agree with you, man. That's not fair to Flair. Bobby Heenan is perfect. As soon as Flair comes out, there's that shot of DiBiase because he's thrown out, so maybe Flair was 3 or 4. And he kept the cowbell. There's a cowbell ready. No, that's not fair to Flair. And he's flipping out. God bless you, Bobby Heenan.
Oh, man. And it's just amazing. And, he'll start fighting somebody, and Heenan's like, "What are you doing? Stay down."
Roddy Piper comes in. Flair needs him as an ally. So Heenan backs up. He goes, "It's not a dress. It's a kilt. I've always said it's a dress. It's not. It's a kilt."
Yep.
Piper fires up on him, and he goes, "It's a kilt. I've always said it. He wears a dress. Roddy Piper is a dress wearer."
I remember that
stuff, man.
Absolutely. Bobby Heenan made that Rumble, Flair's promo afterwards, and actually before. If you've ever seen the video of the pre-matches or the pre-interviews before the Rumble,
everything
Flair has an
from he's his mouthpiece. He introduces him with the the stolen NWA championship. I just watched that last night. The real, where they blur it out, which is funny because they end up owning that belt and every other belt that ever existed.
They actually here's a little bit of Pete Piece of trivia. They actually used for live events
the tag belt, right?
That they televised. They used the World Tag Team title on TV and blurred it. Because I guess he ended up mailing back the big gold belt.
Yeah, it was a 30. Jim Herd wanted it, right? It was like a 30. Yeah. It was like, no. Yeah, Jim Herd maybe, but it was like a $30,000 deposit on that belt. So he's like, either send the check or
screw it. I'm just taking it.
I literally haven't had to say a word.
It's great, man.
In the
Did you have another question? Can we just do it live or what?
Actually, the other question came from somebody else. What was this is not really a political question, but what was Donald Trump's beef with the WWE?
Absolutely no beef. He hosted WrestleMania 4 and 5 from Trump Plaza in Atlantic City. He was the special he bought Monday Night Raw for a period of time. He had a fight with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 23.
I think that's what he's probably talking about.
He came in and bought. He came in and something. I might be getting my storylines crossed because I feel like the guest. Vince didn't sell it to him till years later. So I think that one was. He comes in for something and Vince shoots his mouth off, says he's got more money than him or something. Donald Trump picks a guy. He picks Bobby Lashley. Vince McMahon picks Umaga, and the loser of the match at WrestleMania 23, Ford Field, was going to have to get their head shaved bald, and Vince lost and then sported the bald.
Did Donald Trump get to shave his head?
I have to say this for Vince McMahon, for someone who is a billionaire, for someone who is owns this huge company, who makes so many tough decisions. The man has been willing to make an ass out of himself on national television and pay-per-view for a long time.
Not just an ass, he takes a beating. I mean, he's 60-something years old. I mean, he might be pushing 70 now. Yeah, he is over 70, sorry. Or he's just around 70. He took a headbutt from Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw not that long ago. Took a headbutt.
And he got color.
And he started bleeding. Took a headbutt. There was nothing fake about it, dude. Headbutted him. I watched the blood come out of Vince McMahon's head.
He looks like a pretty tough dude, though.
Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
He looks better now than
what?
I look now. He looks better at 70 than
there
I look at 30.
There was an interview with Triple H, and someone asked Triple H if they ever work out together, and Triple H was like, "What are you, crazy? You think I'm going to, die?" Because I guess he has this ridiculous regimen of, working out. And, I mean, the man's over 70 years old, which is insane.
Look, I'll sit here and S Vince's D all day with you. We don't have to, but we gotta we gotta move it on down the road, I think.
Dave Cohen is a personality on one of our sister stations, 95.9 The Fox. You can hear him on weekends. He also fills in for the morning show quite often. and he's been a guest here when we geeked out with Star Wars.
He
Thank
was
you
great.
for
He was great.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
a great episode.
that was great, right? I mean, these like I didn't say a word for 20 minutes, and I just let
They
these
just got right into it.
and I knew about like a third of what they were talking
Yeah,
about.
I knew nothing.
So thank you very much, Dave.
Later, Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you. So hey, technology guys, how about that?
We did it.
We did it.
That went-
man.
that
went
actually
good.
worked really well.
That
worked
one
really
was
well.
pretty good.
Good job, Chief.
Thank you. So let's see. Go back to some comments here. Any good comments? Is anyone watching?
Yeah, Matthew Pliska, he wants to know, what do you think about, you think there's going to be any surprises on the Raw anniversary?
I'm actually going to this show at the Barclays Center. It's the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. It's next, not this Monday, but the Monday after that. Could be. I mean, even not surprises. They know Undertaker's going to be there. Austin's going to be there. I'd assume Vince is going to be there. It might even be, and Vince hasn't been there since he got headbutted in the head. I'm going to be crying a lot, I think. I'm going to be crying a lot when these guys come out. There could be. They might pull the trigger, even if it's not to build towards Mania, but they might pull the trigger on Sting and Undertaker. Have be just getting the face off in the ring so we can take the pictures of it. Hopefully they bring Hulk Hogan back into the mix. He's been in society jail. He's been in a timeout for some rude comments that he had. So hopefully Hulk has done his time, and if not, I mean, certainly deserves to. He certainly deserves what happened to him, but maybe over. Maybe Hulk Hogan's back. So also, Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame. To get back to that other point real quick, Donald Trump is a card-carrying member of the WWE Hall of
Shut
Fame.
up.
I swear
Wow.
to God, the two like years ago. Forgot about the.
Yeah, you don't need those
It's
anymore.
okay. I'm using it to thicken up my hairline. These lights cut through it. And I'm Jim Lauber's perfect head of hair.
Our good friend Mr. Robert Core is watching.
Oh yeah, I said hi to him earlier.
Oh, you did?
Well, yeah, right when you came back, you were in thinking mode. You didn't hear me. I said hi to him. I want to go to his...
Todd Whaley goes, when I first heard Ryan Roberts, I thought it was some young kid trying to sound cool, but now I see him, he's just a cool old dude.
Excellent.
Cool made it.
Just a cool old dude.
Freeze frame.
Thank you.
Just a cool old dude. You look terrible.
Yeah, but how do you...
Just a cool old dude.
I do look terrible.
I wouldn't hear your voice and think you sounded like a young kid, but...
Really? Well, he said I sound like a young person trying to sound cool.
Well, that's what
Wow.
you've done.
But I'm an old person
Yeah,
trying to sound
yeah,
cool.
you're not that old.
That's my deal. That's funny. Thank you, Todd. Now you know that. No. I'm
Yeah,
just-
the mystery's revealed.
yeah.
That's the only thing about doing this show. People had a lot of
People are like, oh, like I wonder what he
sounds
holy
mysterious. Oh
Jesus.
gosh, no.
He looks like a hungover Viking.
So as far as the anniversary that we was talking, national.
Capacity, I assume, unless they go Diesel and Razor, which is their alternate, egos from the earlier 90s, the formation of Monday Night Raw 93 in that area. So if Hall and Nash are doing NWO stuff, I'm hoping they let Hogan in and do an NWO thing. DX is going to be there. That's Shawn Michaels and Triple H and the Road Dogg and Badass Billy Gunn and things like that. So it's going to be easy. They're also doing it from the Manhattan Ballroom, the Hammerstein Ballroom, which is around the corner from MSG, and which was where the first Monday Night Raw was held, and at the Barclays Center. So they're simulcasting. So I'm only going to one, and I'm kind of like, I'm hoping that we get the better show at the Barclays Center. But I'll go home and watch it anyway.
And when
course
is
you will.
when is that anniversary?
That is not this Monday, but the next Monday
what's
after that.
what's the price on tickets? And
It's astronomical.
what's
I don't
not
know.
like a Barbra
One, it's
Streisand
the
concert.
bars. No, probably more than that. It's the 25th. I mean, this is the first time all these guys have been under the same roof, and I can't remember since maybe like WrestleMania, the outdoor WrestleMania a couple years ago. But
Great, thousands of people flying in for that too.
it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one, and that's then shortly after that is the Royal Rumble, and that kicks off the road to WrestleMania, where these lovely posters will be hanging in my bedroom. Not my bedroom, my house. I have a real house now, so I can decorate the whole thing. Wrestling. Joan, that's my mom.
So we have a question. Does anyone remember when Mae Young had her just pulled out on what?
Yeah, her boob came out.
Her breast. She pulled out her boob on
She
pay-per-view.
did. Mae Young is just a sassy old broad from the early days of women's professional wrestling. Johnny Mae Young, and she was good friends with the fabulous Moolah, who was in the match with Cyndi Lauper. Not in the match with Cyndi Lauper, but she did that whole Cyndi Lauper part of that angle. It was Royal Rumble 2000 from Madison Square Garden, and they're doing the hottest diva contest or something, and she comes out and pulls her tit out. Can I say tit?
Yeah, you can.
She pulls her tit out, but it's the something about Mary tit. They like gave her a prosthetic to like flop around a little bit, so it's like a comedy tit. But I was 2000 in 2000 I was like 15. And I remember being very uneasy about it. I was like, oh, I saw an old lady's boob. This is messing me up. I better watch wrestling for the next 40 years to figure this out. See how I feel about this.
Do you get a lot of shit, from people besides me about your love for wrestling?
No, not really, because I've surrounded myself with people like Sexy Jesus Hammer Tunis who care about nothing more than professional wrestling.
That's his name,
Sexy Jesus. He's the... That's Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling up in Massachusetts.
Right.
We have a lockdown.
And what do you guys? What do you guys? You hire professional wrestlers?
No,
to
they
come
are.
In?
Yeah, no, we are. I mean, the guys.
I mean,
are
not
all
high. I know
trained.
they are, but you hire like a kind of a ringer, like you hire a headliner.
Okay, yeah. So Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling is a start 'em up, kind of like the old Southern style of wrestling, where the angles take a longer time to play out. It's more long story driven characters. Blitzkrieg Pro in Enfield, Connecticut, which has a show on February 21st, I think, 23rd or 4th. Sorry, Jeremy Larry. Their next show is in Enfield, Connecticut, but he's the one who brings in a name or two, you know what I mean, to kind of anchor the show to get the casual fan involved. But even then, it's guys that have been on the indie scene, like Joey Janela or guys like that who can go, and then you get a guy like Marty Jannetty on there, or the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, Tommy Dreamer, and you get some guys to anchor the show with the. We got really high before this, so I'm umming a lot.
Oh man, that's so.
Cody Rogers has a question. Have you ever heard of Phoenix Pro Wrestling in Pennsylvania?
Phoenix Pro, I have not heard of that.
Okay.
The Phoenix does sound familiar though. Whereabouts in Pennsylvania is it?
Yeah,
get back to us in 45 seconds.
You know, it's crazy, too. You remember the whole, China, she died?
Yeah.
And it's weird because I'm not a wrestling fan, but I sort of started YouTubing and kind of like, the whole thing with AAA. Like, I'm not a wrestling fan, but what's your take on, I mean, was she out of her mind?
I think later in life, China
shitty?
was nuts, but that was just, I mean, she lived a long, hard life. She had a lot of fame in the late 90s as one of the first female that could. She won the Intercontinental Championship. She was the first female to ever do that. Maybe the only also at this point.
She was like the Amelia Earhart of female wrestling.
She did, only when she wasn't captured and murdered by the Japanese, and then the secret was hidden for 70 years.
Brian T. Shellnut says, "Are you still a virgin?"
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever gotten laid because of wrestling, but you should.
Nah.
The eccentric parties, like Chief, like I've had some tasty treats for girlfriends. The eccentric wrestling parties that I have, you've been a
current
part of.
girlfriend's what, 98 pounds or something like that?
So, no, I do okay. Don't worry, Brian P. Shellnut.
I love that name. Steve Austin beer bath is still the funniest thing I have ever seen on wrestling, says Douglas.
That was on the Go Home show to WrestleMania the week before March 31st, 1998. So that's the
Jesus.
Go Home to WrestleMania 15. It was hailed as the greatest Raw ever. And a lot of people think that's how it ends. That's how Raw starts. Steve Austin comes out in a beer truck, almost takes down the Titantron, pulls out the truck, sprays them with the keg filler, and Vince is selling it in the ring, swimming on the ground in his son Shane's there. Everything Vince McMahon does is gold. Shane McMahon also. When Shane McMahon came back after a 8-year absence, I cried. Wrestling makes me cry a lot. I'm very invested in these characters, man. I've been watching for 30 years. I'm 33 years old. There's videos of me with Hulk Hogan and Mean Gene Okerlund on the background. VHS tapes of me and my playpen and Hulk Hogan in the background. I've been watching it for my whole life. Never missed a show, man.
I know that. My Jimmy Nads wants to know, do you have shoes on?
Do I have shoes on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why.
Why do you want to know? Does he want to see? Is he one of these weird feet fetish guys?
No.
Put your toes up. They're always in the cam rooms. Put your toes up.
I don't know.
Don't make her put her toes up.
What's the highest? Cody Rogers came up again. What's the highest
Highest I've
fall
ever
you've
been?
ever seen
Oh, sorry.
taken?
The-
And we always bring up, and even though I'm not a fan, I always remember Mankind taking that fall.
Yeah, Mankind off the Hell in the Cell took a pretty big fall. Shane McMahon has jumped. Shane's fall off the Hell in the Cell are both jumps, and the cell is now skinnier and taller now. So I think Shane's fallen about 6 more feet than Mankind ever
Wow.
fell. If Shane, jumped and Mankind was shoved and choke slammed through the thing, which is to the ring, which doesn't feel good either. But it's still 3 feet up, so hell of a bump. But you got to take 3 feet out because the ring's 3 feet tall.
I'm gonna try another technical thing here.
What are you gonna do, babe?
He's making a phone call. See how this goes. So I'm really into this, Rob. I'm giving you a phone call. Rob is my very good friend, and he's a technical wizard. Wizardry, and let me see if I can get the answer here. Please share. This is the night shift with my guest tonight, Matthew James, and of course my producer. Oh no, he's unavailable for video calling. Oh,
Who was it?
It was Rob.
Oh yeah, no, he's unavailable. He's not showing the world his house.
Dave Cohen came back. Kurt Angle's Milkomania. Loved it.
Same thing. Kurt did the same thing to Stephanie McMahon and other members of the McMahon. Only came out with a milk truck and sprayed Stephanie McMahon, Vince's daughter, and Jim Ross was one of the all-time greatest calls. He goes, $1 billion princess just became the Dairy Queen.
Wow.
Kurt Angle sprayed him, and then he does the Stone Cold da 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 da, but it's milk instead of beer.
Russ McGovern says the last time I watched wrestling was with Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And
Yep.
honestly, Russ, I'm sort of there with you. I was a wrestling fan when I was a kid. My dad and I would watch wrestling, and was it the dude that bit the turnbuckle there?
Georgie Animal Steel.
Yeah, Georgie Animal Steel would eat the turnbuckle.
That's interesting. They both passed in 2017, both of those guys.
Really?
Yeah.
My dad would just sit there the whole time commenting about how this was all bullshit.
Of course, your dad wouldn't sit back, and your dad's just like bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see he didn't hit the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Your dad is
the
your
whole I don't know why he. No,
so he's not.
especially on national television. No, he was ridiculous, man.
No, that never happened.
Oh man. So thanks for coming out to our little show. Oh, am I getting something technical happening?
Someone
no.
calling you?
Oh yeah. Let me see. No, I can't call him. So I think we're going to wrap it up. Does anyone have any last questions for? Oh, actually, this is a great question. Roy Coulahan asks, "Who do you think will be the next hottest diva in WWE?"
In WWE, or the next person to come up out of nowhere? Or is he
Well,
asking me
we're
somebody
talking
who's
about
already
chicks,
there?
so it's okay. We can ask.
Well, they would have to be involved because who knows
they'd have to be
who's
a
gonna,
wrestler,
right?
yeah.
Like you can't tell who's up and coming, but who's involved now that's going to be the next big one?
I would say with Paige retiring and girls like that kind of see, they're all on the girls on was Samantha Rose or so. The girls that Paige just brought up are really good. On the independent circuit, I can tell you that I think an up and comer is Skylar, Hot Scoop Skylar on Instagram. That is the up and comer. She was former Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling Women's Champion and currently works with Blitzkrieg Pro. And I think she will be the next biggest thing in the next 12 months to 18 months of professional wrestling. That's Skylar. Be on the lookout for Skylar. Big Bacon Brad Hollister, another up-and-comer. He's a dude. Big Bacon on the independent scene. Sexy Jesus.
Is Ronda Rousey going to be in wrestling?
There is a women's Royal Rumble this year where all the women are getting involved, and I have a feeling that she is going to be one of the surprise entrants in that, or come out in the next something or other on the road to WrestleMania, because I think, now's the time. Now's when you stunt book people. We're on the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the biggest show of the year, Sunday, April 4th, I think it is this year, and or whatever. You'll know when WrestleMania is coming.
So
me.
I know we're supposed to be answering the crowd's questions, but for some weird reason, I was on Vince Vaughn's Wikipedia page the other day, and I was scrolling through, and he's filming right now about the life of WWE wrestler Paige. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of that.
So I just wanted to bring it. Just popped in my head.
They filmed shots for that, and she is her family are European wrestlers.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. And she, so she's on Monday Night Raw now, and she won the championship her first night in the company.
2-time Divas champion.
Yep. And then she injured herself and recently came back. And I believe, unless the reports weren't true, just as before we went on air, I read that she had suffered a debilitating injury and may be forced to retire
during a wrestling match.
She's only 25.
Yeah, she's very young, and unfortunately she left the company for a long time to personally find herself and things like that. So, she lost a year or two of her career out of wrestling, and it's too bad.
That's awful, man.
She's smoking
sucks,
hot, too.
dude. Yeah, she is a smoke show, so that sucks too. But at least the movie's got an ending, right? You're Vince Vaughn sitting around like, how the fuck am I going to end this thing? Oh, debilitating injury.
There you go.
Put a bow on it.
There you go. Not like we haven't seen that movie before.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson's in it.
I think he's producing it. Rock is producing it.
So what things would you like to promote?
Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling. I am the ring announcer for them out of...
do some ring announcing for us.
What do you want? Give me your name.
Give me, Sexy Jesus.
Sexy Jesus is... so his music comes out, it's Jesus Walks by Kanye. So it's boom, 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 no. Jesus! So I'm in the ring, he's doing his Jesus thing, and I'm going, this is all stuff I made up. And I hopefully nobody steals my stuff. I go, born on sexy Christmas, in sexy Bethlehem, here on the sexy Sabbath, sexy Jesus, hammer, Tunis. And then he's like, and then he doesn't like me. His partner is Big Bacon, Thick Cut Raw Power Big Bacon, and they are the closers. So that's Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling. Blitzkrieg Pro is Friday, February 20th. It's
so you got to look up the date, is what you're saying.
All right, fine. Someone do it. Can you just type Blitzkrieg Pro? I can't use my camera. I'm using my camera.
Have our
Blitzkrieg Pro on Facebook. The name of the show is
So many people want you to tear off. So many people.
I'm not. Everybody wants me to. It was a $50 ordeal by the time it's over. I'm not ripping my Hulk Hogan shirt.
He brought this shirt. Show them the back again.
I got him on Instagram. I can't find him on.
He brought this shirt to a tailor.
It might be there. Hold on. What's it say? Blitzkrieg Pro. It'll be there. This is mine.
He brought this shirt to a tailor.
It's
a seamstress.
A seamstress.
Here we go. I got it right here.
What's it called? We got to stay positive, right? You got to stay positive. Blitzkrieg. Sorry.
So what are we looking for?
We got to stay positive. Friday, February 24th. Glad we looked at it because I was going to settle with 23. That's Friday, February 24th, 4 Alden Ave, Enfield, Connecticut. Tickets available. Also be on the lookout for Dissension Pro Wrestling. I'm Matthew James. Please like my page. I'm also Western Mass Trivia Nights. Am I the Friday guy, Chiefy Doodles, or what?
Yes, this is my friend and I have been friends for
a very long time, for almost 15 years.
Almost 15 years. Tell everyone where I met you.
Six Flags New England. I was Foghorn Leghorn. You were one half of the stoner juggling crew that had come in. They didn't know you were stoners, but you took a lot of Gatorade breaks off property. You guys were there, and I had been groomed. Six Flags. Six Flags was all the performing I knew. That's when I first got my first paycheck for performing, was being a Looney Tune. And everything's a toothpaste commercial. You know what I mean? Like everything's family friendly and everything. And then you two fucking guys come in, and it's just shit I've never seen. You're making sexual innuendos on the midway in front of kids and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god! So 2 years by them, like, my buddy Bobby Harvey, Robert Harvey, who is a professional stuntman, Robert Lee Harvey, who is a world-renowned stunt person, was working with you guys. I started working stilts with you, and then that was it, man. You guys started. I realized that you would pay me more than I ever thought I could make
to do stupid things.
To do stupid shit. And I didn't know you were getting $500 for me, and you were paying me $75. I was just happy with the $75. Cut to 15 years later, I'm like, fucking make with the money.
So
$300 stilt gig, pal.
Before we leave, please tell everyone how you got fired from Six Flags.
No, absolutely
absolutely
not. Absolutely not. I wasn't. You're not. Can't have sex in a Looney Tune costume.
Oh, man.
You're not supposed to.
Man. Now, I'm actually putting it up. There you go. Blitzkrieg Pro, December 15th.
No, that's the old one. Wow, great.
Where's the... Come on, guys.
February 24th is the next one. It's called...
February 24th.
December 15th was the one I got in trouble at. Let's not talk about that one. We're going February 24th now.
How come they're still promoting the December?
It was on. You must have went to the wrong one. Me and Jim found it.
Oh.
Dissension Pro Wrestling, Blitzkrieg Pro, Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling, Western Mass Trivia Nights, Matthew James on Facebook.
All
the
right.
Future Heavies is my 80s cover band in Connecticut. We'll have to talk about that sometime.
Well,
did we get it all done?
I think so.
Can I come see you next Friday?
I'd love to have you back next Friday. We don't have to talk about wrestling.
No, we're never talking about wrestling
we
again.
Can talk about other things.
We'll talk about our lives.
But if if anyone ever has any questions, you can also email me off. And if you have a desire to be on the show, now you know that my technical abilities are wizard-like. And also, I bought an app. But if I can actually make phone calls, and you could be part of the show like Dave Cohen was tonight, and Jimmy Nads. So thank you, Jimmy Nads. Thank you, Dave Cohen. And thank you to my producer, Jim Lauber. Look, Jim's got his own camera now.
Oh, yeah.
Woo. Oh, wow. I got to get you a new camera, though. That's a shitty camera. I apologize.
That's all right.
And, of course, we have my good friend, Mr. Matthew James.
Pioneer Valley Pro Wrestling, old school night. Check us out, the Eastfield Mall, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Some shameless self-promotion from my friend Matthew James. My name is Ryan Roberts, 99.1 PLR Facebook Live show. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Monday. I'm taking the weekend off. Sorry.
Ryan, this is your conscience speaking. I just wanted to drop in and say hello. Hello. We haven't talked in a while. You're just not the same when you do.